Hello, friends. Well, I just came back from a race, if I look gross and smelly or whatever. Um, and it was like my worst race in 3 years. But what are you doing on 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning? I'm feeling sorry for myself, but I have something else. Nice package from the people at coolstuffinc.com. It's full of Magic the Gathering cards, so there's one way to cheer up our hero. It's going to be a pre-modern mail day. All right. Mail day stuff. I got a lot of cards on this mail day, and these are all pre-modern cards. So if you don't know what pre-modern is, it's the main way I like to play Magic with my friends. We play paper Magic, and it's sets from 4th edition to Scourge with a banned list. But it's a non-rotating format, and God bless them, nobody's really broken it yet. These are just some random cards I needed. So this is one Phyrexian Arena. I guess I owned 3 other Phyrexian Arenas. And then I bought a ground seal, but the nice people at coolstuffinc.com, promo code Flores, only had one of this Old Border Odyssey ground seal. So for whatever reason, I guess I bought like these like budget ground seals, but they like match each other. So these are M15 ground seals, and I guess this is some other set. I don't know what the heck it is. Ground seals. So if I wanted to play cards that all match each other, then I guess I would be able to do that. But at least I bought the one regular nice copy they had. So these are just other utility cards that you need to own. I bought 4 Phyrexian Furnace, and these are ones from Weatherlight. And I don't know what I was thinking when I did the rest of this, because I bought like another, looks like 12 of these Phyrexian Furnaces. And they also purport to be from Weatherlight, but they have this little logo in the corner. So, I mean, Phyrexian Furnace is like, it's, just not an expensive card. It's like, these are 30 cents or something. And even less if you use promo code Flores to get 5% off your order at coolstuffinc.com like I did. But this is like the kind of card where you like might play 3 copies in the main deck of your blue-white control deck, and they just go in a ton of decks, aka Scrabbling Claws 1.0. Because, they cycle, and they're just pretty good, and they stop powerful graveyard effects, and there's a lot of those in pre-modern. But I bought, 4 original Phyrexian Furnaces, and I guess 12 of these, but they go in a lot of decks, so you can just kind of spread them around. All right, next we're going to talk about cards rather, from particular decks. So I bought 3 Volras Shapeshifters. I think these are on the reserved list. So this goes into a deck called Full English Breakfast, and maybe in another video, if you want to do deck tech, I can explain how this combo works. I came in second at the Constellation Tournament at LobsterCon, and I lost to one of my best friends, David Tao, playing this combo deck. One of the ways you can do it is you have Survival of the Fittest in play, you play the Volras Shapeshifter, you discard the card Phyrexian Devourer, give the Shapeshifter a ton of counters, and then discard the card Triskelion, and then take the counters off the Shapeshifter and kill your opponent in 1 move. Takes like, I guess, 5 total mana, like 3 green and 2 Gs or whatever to use the survival twice to kill them in 1 move. I bought some Auramancers. I don't know if I had Auramancers or not, but they were just like nothing, and you need Auramancer for that deck. In case your opponent destroys your survival, you can get it back. And then I got these original printing Elvish Spirit Guides. There are a lot of other printing of Elvish Spirit Guide, but one of the things about pre-modern players is we like to play the old borders, and we like to have nice versions of our decks. So I hate to invoke hate speech, but we're like kind of like Commander players that way. Okay, and then let's see here. I bought these cards for an Enchantress deck. I own most of the cards, but I guess I just didn't own these. I got 1 Karmic Justice. This is an enchantment. It, I don't know, messes people if they try to blow up your permanents. 1 Words of War. This is a really weird card. The Enchantress deck is really good at drawing a lot of cards, and it usually just plays like 1 or 2 cards to win the game. Some versions have Words of War. Some versions have anything from Parallax Wave to Sacred Mesa. Then I got 4 original Elephant Grass, and then I did the same thing, I guess, where I got more Elephant Grasses, and they have these like weird things in the corner, so I don't know where they're from. But they look like a Visions Elephant Grass, but they just have this additional thing that is kind of a little troll. But it doesn't really go in any of their decks but Enchantress, so I don't know why I would have bought extra copies, I guess. I guess I was saving so much with promo code Flores, so you have 5% off my order at coolstuffinc.com. I just didn't care. Okay, Now to move on to my favorite strategy, which is the red deck. I got 3 crashes. These are from Mercadian Masks. Crash is like a overcosted shatter, but sometimes you can cast it just by sacrificing a mountain. I own another crash, that's why I only got 3. I believe this is the only printing of crash. People like this in some versions of the red deck because you actually want to manage your lands down by blowing up your own lands so that you don't have your opponent, getting you with land tax. So, and this is also an instant. It's good against the card Phyrexian Dreadnought, better than sorcery speed cards. So we got a lot of red deck cards. Last time I talked about getting some of those Baldur's Gate lightning bolts. So I got some non-embarrassing lightning bolts, and these can go in a lot of decks, right? So I got 4 revised lightning bolts. My lightning bolt collection is super embarrassing. I think I historically owned like 1 revised lightning bolt and 3 4th edition. So I at least got a matching set. So there are 4 4th edition and 4 revised ones. These can go in whatever red deck. And then I also got promo Incinerates. So I owned 3 arena promo Incinerates, so I just got the 4th one, and then I got another set. If there's going to be more than one deck that plays Incinerate, who knows? Maybe there would be. I could just have the nicest Incinerates. Now, my friends, it's time to go completely off the rails. Those are nice cards. But I wanted to build like a troll red deck, so I think I'm going to own 2 red decks. One of them filled with like nice Incinerates like this, and old border lightning bolts, and maybe I'll upgrade those lightning bolts to probably not ones that cost $300, but a little bit nicer than just old border, white border ones. But I wanted to play a troll red deck as well, which is new borders and mismatched art and anything that could put your opponent on monkey tail. And in pre-modern, that's not hard to do because people are gaga over old borders. What do you think about this? So like 4 different printings of Incinerate that just the art doesn't match. This has an old border, but it's in white border. This is a original printing of Incinerate, but it's in a new border. So this is just ridiculous. So 4 mismatched Incinerates to troll my opponents. And I obviously own Seal of Fire, but I got these, I don't know what horrible new border set this is from to annoy my opponents as well. Same on Barbarian Ring. These are, it's Barbarian Ring, but it's in a new border, and these are they're foil etched, I think is what it's called. I don't think maybe this is a real foil, but they're also wacky. And then just to complete the troll trifecta I guess is 3, but this is more than 3. I got these Grim Lavamancers that are new art, but in an old frame. I think I'm gonna play the weird foil ones that I think I showed you in the last video, if I have those handy, because they're super weird in foil. But these are like skirting a middle ground, so they're in an old border, but they are new art. And we're not even done being off the rails. So I got these. This is like one of my favorite cards you could have, because like there's just no indication that this is a shock. So I guess you just have to believe me that this is a shock. And some of these are what's called foil etched, and it's really hard to tell which ones are foil etched versus regular of this kind of thing, because the foil is so subtle on it. But weirdly, the foil etched ones were cheaper than the regular ones. But I got, whatever, a set of each, because these are for a troll deck. So, imagine your shocks were these shocks, and then your Incinerates were these horrible new border mismatched Incinerates. And like your opponent would just have to believe you that this was the card shock. And then I guess they also did it in this. So some of these are foil etched, and some of them are not foil etched, but it's really hard to tell which ones are which. I think this is foil. I think it's shiny in the corner. But I guess I didn't do a great job of the foil etching because I can't tell very well, although I do wear glasses. And then I got another deck's worth of stuff, which was Goblins. I just got a set of Tranquil Domains. I think this is the only printing. This is a very powerful card. It costs 1 and a G, instant destroy all global enchantments. So a global enchantment is anything that's not an aura. So a land tax is a global enchantment. So your opponent might have like a land tax and an Oath of Druids in play at the same time, and you could blow them both up with a Tranquil Domain, and that'd be really powerful. So I don't think there's a troll printing of Tranquil Domain for the Goblin deck, but I just needed them anyway for various decks. I don't know if you play 4. And then I got these for the same reason as those weird mismatched Incinerates. I got these weirdo Carplusan Forests because I'm just off the rails, man. These are like from 3 different sets. This is old border, but it's white border. And then I already owned this this Carplusan Forest, which was being a proxy, and it alternated being a proxy in my red deck and being a proxy in my Elves deck, but I bought that Wooded Foothills in the last mailbag video we did. So this is just gonna join these other guys and just be the mismatched quadruplets or whatever. And it's gonna be great. So Goblins actually plays Carplusan Forest, and you can say, Michael J, don't you own real Carplusan Forest? And I do own real Carplusan Forests. But it's weird, like Goblins is a deck that I just didn't own. Like I owned like 1 or 2 Goblin Pile Drivers, like 1 or 2 Goblin War Chiefs from back in Onslaught days. I guess just didn't collect that deck. So I was just gonna buy the deck, and I'm like, it's actually way cheaper to just buy it in new borders. And I own a lot of really nice pre-modern decks, but I don't need them all to be beautiful. In fact, it's fun to have troll decks. So I decided to make a troll goblin deck. On that note, I bought the only Mog Fanatic they had of this style at Cool Something. I bought a set already, but I'll fill out the set because I want to have a troll burn deck and a troll goblin deck. So this doesn't look like a Mog Fanatic, right? It looks like Santa. And so you can see like it has like cool DCI foiling or whatever, but this doesn't look like any Mog Fanatic anyone would ever recognize. I'll buy another 3 of these. And so I was like so off the rails at the point that I did this. So here are some horrible naturalizes. I think these are foil, but for some reason I got 5 of this art. Maybe I just misclicked on the order, and then I got 4 of this one. This is also foil, a different naturalized art, and then I guess got these 3. So I guess I could play these 4 as a matching set, these 4 as a matching set, and then these 4 as like a mismatched set of naturalizes all in foil. So naturalized is a card that's super widely played in pre-modern. It's in Elves, it's in the Rock, it's in Goblins. So I'll need to have lots of naturalizes for troll decks, but sadly both my Rock deck and my Elves deck are actually pristine, beautiful decks, not troll decks. So, but if I ever need troll naturalizes, I'll have them. They weren't expensive to collect. So Gem Palm Incinerator is another card that I actually owned because you can play it in an Astral Slide deck historically, but these were available in like a variety of different arts. So this is the original art, but in a new border. So these are like super weird and different printings. So I'm gonna mix and match these somehow. Again, I have 5 copies of this foil one for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. This one's cool. It's foil, but in an old border with this art. So I don't know. I'll figure out the most annoying configuration for my Goblins deck. But again, I have options at least. And you know, these were not expensive to put together. Script Prospector, I actually did own, but I got regular. I think I'll just play the foil ones in the Goblins deck. Or I could play like 1 regular, 1 foil, and then 1 original. That might be pretty trolly. A card that I just didn't buy for the Troll Goblins deck was Goblin Lackey, because like I own a bunch because I played a lot of paper when Urza Saga was in a standard set, and like the troll versions, you know, the new border printed Goblin Lackeys are like $22 or something. And I'm like, I'm willing to commit to the bit, but I'm not willing to commit that much. Like I'll buy, you know, $1's worth of Carplusan Forest maybe, but like an Expedition Wooded Foothills makes no sense to me. I own like real Wooded Foothills. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't committed to the bit enough. You know, put a comment if you think I need to go deeper in committing to the bit. So I just didn't own this for whatever reason, or maybe it's in my parents' house or something. This is a card you need to own for Goblins. We only really need 1, so I got a white bordered troll one. So War Chief is a card that I own like 1 or 2 copies in new printing. I'm sorry, in original printing. So I got these because they're shiny and trolly. Same with Goblin King. Like, check out these Goblin Kings. They're mismatched and like white bordered and from different sets, and this one's old bordered and this one's new bordered. Surely this will drive my opponent nutso, and I will have extra fun as a result of that. So Goblin Matron, for some reason, I couldn't find any Goblin Matrons, even though I just told you a story about how I had plenty of Goblin Lackeys. I couldn't find a Goblin Matron, so here's some old border Goblin Matrons that you could like mix and match with weirdo new border Goblin Matrons. I also get a set of these foil ones. I'll probably mix and match these, but, you know. I doubt I'll ever own 2 Goblins decks, but I don't know. Again, these were like 35 cents or something. So NBD, promo code Flores, get 5% off of even the low price of Goblin Matron. Goblin Pile Driver is a card you obviously need to have in Goblins. This is in new border, even though it's the original art. And then the last, I think this is the last card I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I was thinking on this one. So I got these Siege Gang Commanders. Like, maybe if I'm going to play in a serious tournament, in quotes. Again, I have 5 copies of this. This doesn't make any sense why I would order 5. Of this printing, which are, like, not in foil. But then I could just troll it up. And I think that that's what I'm going to do with, like, look at this, like, monkey-looking Siege Gang Commander. And then these guys are in the same art as each other, but this one is old border and foil. Who knows what set these are from? And then this one is like a crazy looking Siege Gang Commander. And maybe I would play this one as the 5th in so that I don't have any matching arts, like, you know, because these 2 are matching arts, even though they're different frames and one is foil. So what do you think? Should I play this one and this one, or this one and this one? Or like even this one and this one, because this one is kind of too nice because it's an old border, even though it is foil and weird. So this was just a pre-modern set of ordering. Most of these cards were like pretty inexpensive on average. I think the most expensive card I got was literally this uncommon from Alliance's Elvish Spirit Guide, because I bought it in the original printing. You can get these for like 50 cents or something if you buy them in the new printing, but you know, or some pre-modern decks are like $5,000, but this entire order, which was, this is probably like 200 cards or something, was just not that much money, especially with promo code Flores. And then I will wrap this up with pics of all the stuff that I got in chunks. All right, here's just all the rando cards that could just go in a bunch of different decks. Phyrexian Arena, I mean, actually, that's probably not that rando of a card. This is probably going to go in Draco Blast or maybe Black-White Dead Guy Yale. But I think like a lot of these are just utility cards that you can go in a bunch of different decks, especially these Phyrexian Furnaces. I actually don't find these to be too offensive. They look almost the same as this one, same border, same expansion symbol. It just has this little thing in the corner, which is kind of annoying me. Here are those Enchantress cards again. Words of War to kill the opponent. Karmic Justice to, I guess, blow up some of their stuff. I have no idea why I bought a second set of Elephant Grass. This literally only goes in 1 deck, so I'd only ever need 4. I don't know, man. Probably got confused. The most expensive cards I probably picked up in this order were Elvish Spirit Guide and Full Rest Shapeshifter. I think this guy might be on the restricted list. These all go in a deck called Full English Breakfast or Hermit Feb, because it also has a Hermit Druid combination. People have been asking me to make like live recording pre-modern videos, and if I do, maybe Hermit Feb will be on the list of decks that we talk about. All right, here are the Troll red deck cards. This is my favorite card of the order. This might be my favorite Magic card actually right now, because like it just, the opponent just has to believe you that this is shock. Like, I think these came from the same set, and like these are also, you know, like that foil etching or whatever, but God bless them, I can't tell which ones are foil etched very well. But like this says shock on it, and it says this deals 2 damage to any target or whatever. This just has a lot of, doesn't even look like a Magic card, right? And then there's like a lot of lightning or whatever coming off of this. So I'm just like, shock you or shock your guy, and they just have to believe you, because it just doesn't look like a Magic card. There's no English printing of this card to cross-reference it. God bless them. So these are the Troll Incinerates, and then Barbarian Ring. These are in foil new border. Seal of Fire. These are just in a, you know, just a disgusting new border. And then these Grim Lavamancers, they're pretty troll-tacular. I think you could plausibly play them in a non-trolling deck because they're in old border, but they're with new art. I just actually had a pinch on Grim Lavamancers because, again, I wanted to make a troll red deck and still have like a regular red deck that has, you know, my nice Incinerates and things like that in it. But I actually just need Grim Lavamancers. So I have this thing called a Tinderbox, and it's just all the red cards that you might plausibly want to play in Modern. And there's some overlap with Pioneer. So I keep a set of like any red card that you might plausibly want to play in Modern goes in the tinderbox. So there's a set of Grim Lavamancers in that box, because I extensively played Grim Lavamancer in Modern for a long time. And, you know, sometimes it might be right to play Destructive Revelry. Sometimes it might be right to play, I don't know, Bump in the Night, right? So I have extra sets of Modern Legal Dual lands in that box, just in case I go to a tournament and I want to switch it up. So I just actually did have need, because I'm operatively going to have more than one deck that has Grim Lavamancer at any given time. So these are the not troll red deck cards. I think this is the only printing of Crash ever, and I just needed to own Crash, which I didn't have. Again, I had an Incinerate in this printing, but now I can just full deck it, and then, I mean, my troll deck is going to have those mismatched ones. And then you need to own Lightning Bolt, right? Like, I probably at any given time have, I don't know, 10 decks between formats that have Lightning Bolt in them, and you can't play embarrassing Lightning Bolts 100% of the time. So this is just my most ridiculous set of different printings and reprints for the Goblins deck. Again, I don't know why I have a 5th Siege Gang Commander in this printing. It makes no sense to me. Siege Gang Commander doesn't go in any other decks, and again, I don't think I'm going to have a nice Goblins deck ever. And if I were going to have a nice Goblins deck, I would not have invested in this copy of Siege Gang Commander, so probably just misclicked. Here are some matrons in different arts, and then I think these are probably going to be the Siege Gang Commanders I play, but you tell me, man. And then these are, you know, Troll Kings. One of them's in old printing, or not old printing, old border. So I decided like 75% of the way through the recap part of the mailbag that nobody cares about all the different editions of Naturalized that I bought as a recap of something that they just heard a second ago. So instead, I'm just going to say, I came home and I was like a little depressed about my crappy race time, and, you know, I smell terrible, look not really video ready, but I'm super happy because I got to open Magic cards. And I think that they were right when they were talking about all the things that they say on Magic Arena. Opening packs or like opening Magic cards is one of the most fun things. I cannot wait to make the Goblins deck, like the Trolley Goblins deck, and then bring it to my next meetup and annoy my friends. And that's half the fun, you know, just like half the fun is building good decks and winning with them. But the other half is like, how much can I annoy my friends? But the flip side of that is like sometimes you just have this beautiful Elves deck and people are like, whoa, is that a real Gaia's Cradle? I get that at FNM all the time. So the answer is yes, it is a real Gaia's Cradle. And no, you can't touch it. Love, Mike.